Hi, sweet family. This is Sweet Honey, and welcome. Welcome to my channel. For those of you that are new to this channel, welcome once again. This channel deals with faith, testimonies, a little bit of skincare, a little bit of hair care, and lifestyles, and lots more. But today, I wanted to discuss, I'm in my grandma's chair, by the way, so I'm going to make myself comfortable, and I wanted to be more comfortable and relaxed for this topic, because this is a topic that I wanted to discuss. This is a few months now since I started the channel, but being quite honest with you, I was like afraid. But this is something that has been on my heart, so I will try to discuss it and do it justice today. And that is life after divorce. And trust me, take it from somebody that has been divorced 3 times. 3 times. Every time I say that, I laugh because I didn't even think I would have done it after the first one. But I just wanted to dive into that topic today, because sometimes I know there are a lot of us that feel as though, oh, how am I gonna make it? You know, I don't want to get a divorce, I don't want to this, I don't want to do that. Well, I felt that way too. I really didn't want a divorce, but sometimes things happen that you have no choice but to get a divorce. My first marriage, I got married, and I wanted to share this with you because I wanted y'all to get to know a little bit about me, because y'all might see me on the channel, but nobody really knows me or knows anything about me and where the road I've traveled and what I have been through. And trust me, I've been through a lot, and I believe that the Most High hasn't allowed that for me to just keep it to myself, or, you know, just go to my grave with it. So what I wanted to do was to just discuss a little bit about it. Well, I met my first husband when I was 18, almost 19 years old, and he was coming up from another Caribbean island. As I would have mentioned in previous videos, I'm from Barbados. I was born and raised in Barbados. Yes, so we met, and he came to my grandmother's house with a friend of my grandmother's from St. Vincent as well. When I just given a little backstory though, because I could like see it as though it was yesterday. When he got out of the vehicle, I mean, you know, when they said tall, dark, and handsome, that was the most handsome person I've ever seen. But my first thought, because I used to be somewhat a negative person, my first thought was, you know, he would never like somebody like me. But he got out of the car, he came in, and I was like a fish out of water, you know, a fish out of water, because I'd never met a person like that before. So they were, you know, talking to my gran and stuff like that, and I was just eyeballing all the time. But then he just started to talk to me and say hi and blah blah. So when forward a little bit, because we courted for like a year or so, because he went home since then, and then he came back, and it was a lot that happened between there. But when he came back then, we decided that we were going to get married. I was 20 years old, 20 years old. And that was the first, and sometimes I think it was the last man that I ever really loved. And he died this year, unfortunately. But, you know, he will always be in our hearts. And I remember thinking I would like to spend the rest of my life with this person. So, as I said, we got married when I was 20, but we were still young. He was 23, I was 20. And when you are that young and life challenges start to hit you, a lot of things happen in relationships that you wouldn't want to happen or expect to happen. You know, you would try to be the dutiful wife, whatever, but things just happen. Life just happened. And a lot of you there will know life just happened. But anyway, fast forward again, because this is about life after divorce and not what happened in the divorce, because we could, in the marriage, because we could talk about that in another video, but I don't want this video to be too long. So I remember, say fast forward 9 years, and we had our ups and downs, we had our good lives, we had our good life together. But one thing I must say to anybody out there, don't ever let a third party get involved in your marriage, in your life, in your relationship. Not even a fourth or fifth party. Just don't do it. But anyway, I remember the day that he came to me and he told me that he was moving out because he didn't want to do this no more. I had 2 children, boy and a girl. The boy was probably about 2. My daughter was probably about 6, 7, anywhere around there. And I never wanted my children to be from a broken home, but sometimes that is really unavoidable. And he came to me, he said, you know, I'm moving out. But before I get to that part, let me just say this one part, because it would help a lot in situation. When we first got married, I was not a believer. But then about, say, 4, 5 years or so into the marriage, I took my belief very seriously. I took my belief more serious. I always grew up in church. My grand sent us to church, and I always grew up in church. But I think that around 25, somewhere around there, is when I took my belief more serious. But unfortunately, he wasn't ready for that yet. But nevertheless, I did my thing. I took the children to church. I did what a wife would do or a mother would do. And I continued to pray for him, and I prayed for him. So what I would say that helped me tremendously in going through my first divorce, what helped me tremendously was my faith in the Most High, my faith in Yahuwah, God, Jesus, whatever you choose to call him. My faith was what brought me through that first one. And because of going to church on Sundays, I had the children in church, and they would go to their little Sunday school. I would go to my group, and then my counseling. My counseling helped me a lot, and that is what I did. One or two people that came into my life, but then you would quickly know, okay, well, this isn't right, or that isn't right, or whatever the case may be. But I was by myself for like 8 years. 8 years before or something like that, yeah, before I met my second husband. So it wasn't that I, was divorced, but then quickly after I was involved with somebody else and then got married again. No, I was by myself for like 8 years, me and just the 2 children, until, during that time, I got pregnant then with my 3rd child. I was not married at that time, but that is a situation that I will probably discuss with you all on another time when I think I have the courage to do so. But yes, I got pregnant during that time. Probably five or 6 years later. And I'm going to say for my first, because there was that life after thing, and if there's a situation where you can, you have a church home, you have somebody that you can do counseling with or whatever, that is normally a great help. That is normally a great help in situations like those. And because for me, that is what helped me a lot. That gave me the strength that I needed to have in reading the Word and getting to know the Word, because during this time, the book of Proverbs was a big help to me, because if you want to know how to live, that tells you how to live. Unfortunately for me, I had grown up without a dad, and I didn't know. I just grew up in a home with 5 women, so I didn't see a situation where I was in a house with a man and a woman, and we knew how to handle one another. It wasn't a situation I knew how to handle, like married life. What I knew was, for me, what I probably conjured up in my head and made up in my head and say, well, this is what I want and that is what I want, and all kinds of things. And I don't know if I, maybe without even realizing it, that I set this man or these men to too much of a high standard, which they couldn't fulfill, so they felt pressured in the marriage. I am not sure, because I'm not in their head to know what was going on, but a lot of times we tend to do that. And then when I started to go to church and what the Word says about, what a man is supposed to be and what a man is supposed to do, then it was like, okay. So what I want to say before I close off, because I don't want this video to be too long, but what I want to say before I close off was I will do a part two, which would maybe my second divorce and how it affected me then. And not only do a part two, but what I will say is, if you have people in your life that will build you up and not bring you down, or if you have a church home and not a church home that will tell you something that you want to hear, that will tell you something that your itching ears wants to hear, a church home that will basically tell you the truth and what you need to do in situations. So what I will tell you to do is try to find something like that. Try to find someone that you can trust, someone that you can talk to. Because, I did have people in my life as well that, well, the ones that I had that said, well, you need to get rid of that man. He ain't doing this, and he doing this to you, and he doing that to you, and he doing the next to you. Those people I did not keep in my life, because those are not the type of people that you want to be in your life. You want somebody in your life that is going to try to build you up and not try to tear you down, tear him down. And because a lot of the times I've watched people in my life feel sorry for themselves and all that there because they didn't have any closure. And that is something that you need to get. You need to get closure when you're in a situation like this. You need to get closure. And you need to also forgive yourself and realize it's not your fault. It's not your fault that these things have been happening or thing. You just have to try to improve yourself, do your best at everything that you try to do. So once again, I don't want this video to be too long, but I hope that something I said, because I didn't have a script or anything, I was just going from memory, and I know when I shut off, there are things that I'm going to say, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that, but sometimes I don't always want to use a script, because then the script throws me off. And but I do hope that things that was said in this video was a help to you, and that you would like and share and subscribe, because the reason that we ask people to like and to share and subscribe is because we're dealing with the algorithm. And if no one shares, if no one likes, if no one subscribes, the videos basically are not going to go anywhere. And I know there are a lot of people out there that will be saying, why they always asking for like, share, and subscribe? I'm doing this because I feel that this is something I need to give back to my community, to my daughters of Zion, and not my daughters, only my daughters of Zion, but my strong women of Zion. This is something I really do think that I need to give back, because I was allowed to get out, I was allowed to come out, and that is only by the grace of the Most High. And not only the grace, but everything that I have been through, when I look back at it, everything was only because I give him all the glory and all the praise. Because even when I talk about it now, it just gives me shivers, because I give him all the glory, I give him all the praise. because a lot of people in my life have said, I don't know how you're still sane. I don't know how you're still alive. I don't know. It's only by the glory of the Most High. So I hope that this, have helped you in some way. I'm going to bring my part 2 because I was married 3 times and I had 3 divorces. So I definitely have to bring a part 2. So if y'all would just like, share, and subscribe for me, and comment, because I need to know that it impacted somebody. So don't just like it. Don't just give a heart. Just comment, because all of us that do this, we're not doing it just for the sake of doing it. At least not me. So just, just comment. Just let me know what you think, what you don't think. Just let me know anything. All right? So I want y'all to enjoy the rest of your day, and blessings to you, and spread the love.